Recording in progress.
Well, good afternoon. Thanks. Welcome, and I appreciate you joining us today for our new knowledge session. My name is Sandy Ratliff. I'm with Virginia Community Capital, and I'm one of the partners in this program that's been going on since 2014. The partners are the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator, and the town of Abington. And we started this to support our Washington County Business Challenge that we are now in the middle of our 10th year. It's hard to believe. But the objective is to not only after the competition, but that our folks, small business owners and entrepreneurs in Washington County can learn about starting and growing a business, but we want to continue that learning. And that's why we developed the New Knowledge Professional Development Program. And I think it's probably one of the longest running consecutive programs that I'm aware of in Virginia. So welcome and thanks for joining us. Now, today's session is being recorded for education and training purposes. So we do have everyone's mics and videos muted, but if you have a question for our speaker today, this is a workshop. Please post those either in the Q&A or in the chat feature, and we will address those at the either during or at the end of the session. Also, since we are recording, this will be available on our YouTube channel, New Knowledge, where you'll find over 200 other workshops that we've been doing over the years. And as well as it will be on the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator's Facebook page in a couple of hours after the session. So I'm sure you're going to get a lot of content and you want to take lots of notes and you're going to miss something. So you have an opportunity to go back. I, for one, am very excited about our speaker today. I've had the great pleasure of working with her for the last several years at Virginia Community Capital. Tachi Panay is leading our session today, and she is the Assistant Director of the Capital Region Small Business Development Center that is hosted by Virginia Community Capital. Before coming to Virginia Community Capital, she spent years in the boutique industry, but the majority is in the hospitality industry. And that's helped her hone in her skills on not only in social media, but also in marketing. And Tachi has been using Canva in various aspects of her work, and I cannot wait for her to share her tips and ideas and how we can implement those in our daily work. I, for one, have been using Canva and love it, and one of the biggest cheerleaders of it. So, Tachi, I am turning it over to you, and thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you so much, Sandy. As Sandy said, my name is Tachi. I've had the distinct pleasure of working with Sandy for, wow, I guess it's been 3 years, Sandy, which is time flies. Time flies. It's been a pleasure, and it's always been a pleasure. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Just to level set with everyone today, this is a 101 course. So we are talking 101 level stuff. At the end, should we have time, we can dig into some deeper questions if you'd like to, or you can schedule an appointment with the SBDC. We also hold a ton of workshops all the time across the state. We're 26 centers, so we are literally always here for anybody. And we like to pride ourselves. We're about a 45-minute, hour-away drive from most folks in the state of Virginia. So there's always an SBDC nearby. We also love partnering up with people like Sandy and collaborating with them. So we're just a hop and a skip away wherever you need us. So today's workshop, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to go ahead and share my whole screen so you all get the whole shebang here. And Sandy, you're the only one I can see, so can I get a little nodding if you can? There you go. Okay, cool. So this is going to start. This is our agenda for today. I know this is not a deck, but that's the beauty of this workshop. We're building together, and you all get to watch someone build, which I think is the most impactful way to learn, especially Canva. If anyone's even baseline familiar with design, the words don't make sense unless you see someone doing the words, right? I see Jackie Alonso on here. Hey, Jackie, good to see you. And this is what we'll go through today. Templates, how to use them the right way. And that includes social media templates, presentations, and documents, which is what this is. It's a Canva document. Brand kit, is it worth it? Yes, it is. Whiteboards and how to use them as collaboration tools. And for folks who already have a Canva account, you'll be able to help me demonstrate how those collaboration tools work. Go ahead and drop in the chat. I'll see it pop up. Who has a Canva account already? Okay, maybe I won't see it pop up. You can give me a good yell, Sandy.
They are posting it now up on the chat.
Love that.
And I do, by the way. I have an account.
Oh, well, perfect. Lovely. And how many of the folks who have an account, who's keeping it, nice and free in that free space, and who's bumped up to that pro account? Go ahead and feel free to come off mute too. We don't need to stay silent. Let's pull
we've got a few. We've got a few. The majority seems to be free, but we do have folks that are doing the pro version.
Perfect. Great. So for the folks who have the pro version and are still beginners, I'm definitely going to recommend sleuthing YouTube to find some deeper insights on how to use those pro tools, or just booking a session with me through the SBDC. I'm happy to deep dive Canva with you. But let's go ahead and get started. So templates is where we're starting first. We're going to go, I'm up here. I'm going to just the switching tabs and go into Canva home. Okay. Templates are this whole space on this left hand side. Or you can also check them out here. Templates. And this is our actual SBDC account. So if you see some of our designs, you'll see them. As you can see in the template section, they go ahead and pre-bucket for you, which is really lovely. But don't be limited to these buckets, right? And this is the thing with templates. They're there to help you, but don't let them limit you. If you see something that makes more sense, but it's kind of positioned as this is a social media template, but you really think it would work for a presentation, you can twerk it to make those things, or tweak it to make those things work in that way. So we're going to go ahead and start with social media, just so you all can see. And as you can see, you get tons of different options here. And these options, the post versus stories versus reels, Facebook versus Instagram versus LinkedIn, that all comes down to sizing, right? And this is going to be incredibly important if you do not have a pro account. If you have a pro account, you can resize anything and it's, with the click of a button, and it's fine. If you don't, which is also great, you need to be very careful about what you're selecting template-wise, what category, so it's sized in the right way. Posts are not sized the same way as stories are. And you can see a little bit in the images themselves. They don't tell you about the sizing, but you can see that the sizing is different just visually. So we're going to go ahead and do an Instagram post because it's right there. See what they bring on up. And this is what they've got. This is what they are, 468,798 templates. So when folks tell me they can't find a template on Canva that works for them, I'm always like, there are about 500,000 templates on there per category. There's something there for you to be able to use. It's about you knowing how to use it, right? So Sandy, you're going to be my bestie here and tell me which, give me a business, any business.
Oh, oh gosh, Gibson's repair business.
Repair business. Okay, great. So let's Gibson's repair business. What kind of repair are we talking?
Automotive.
Automotive. Great. So you can search your templates up atop. Oh, I am being blocked right here. Boom. Automotive business. And this is what's going to come up, you guys, for automotive business. Let's hit here, the car clinic. Boom. Let's say we want to use this template. We clicked on it, right? They've also got a whole bunch of different colorways, which is just, colorway is just a designer jargon for colors, color patterns. So they've got a whole bunch. We are going to choose to customize this. It is 100% fully customizer by this designer right here. Customize this template. It'll open an entirely different tab for you right here. And you see it's going to go ahead and be pre-named what the template is called. So we're going to change that. And I'm going to say test for noon knowledge. Crucial for you to name things in the immediate if you're working with templates. Otherwise, things in your folders within Canva get really jumbled, and it's so hard to figure out what was yours, what was a template, and what was a template that you were able to tweak, right? So name as soon as you open. So we are talking the car clinic. Now, this is the template that we come with. It's giving us the 4 different color, ways that we talked about. And Sandy, remind me one more time, what was the business called?
Williams Automotive Center, I think.
Great.
I'm sure I messed it up, but that's it. He does automotive repair.
Great. So Williams Automotive, I just put it in, right? Just changed it out from the car clinic to Williams Automotive. Now, on first glance, obviously that doesn't look right. So what you do with the template is you type in the things that you need and then you switch things around. So let's dismiss. We are going to, of course, move this just so that we can move the tagline for now. And then, all right, boom, bam.
And then while you're doing that, a question was, what's the best image size for an email newsletter?
Ooh, that kind of depends on what email service provider you're using. I think I would need to know more. Let me go ahead and drop my email. And actually, Sandy, you want to drop my email in the chat for folks? That's like a hyper specific non-Canva related question that I'm so happy to answer.
I certainly will.
Not a Canva question. So let's say we move with Williams Automotive Center. We'll put the tagline up top, yada, yada, yada. While this is all fine and good, we've edited the template a little bit. It still isn't quite cohesive, right? So this is where with templates, you've got the framework. They're giving you the skeleton. You're putting on the muscle and the skin and the flesh and the hair product, right? You're dressing her up yourself for it to match what you need. So so we can switch the spacing. Boom, bam. We can make it a little tighter here. Bring up that font just a bit to a 36 and then go out. Boom, bam. And let's say this is not what I would use for forever, but let's say that you're happy with this, right? And you know that you've got all these other ones here, but you're like, I don't want to have to do it for each one. That's fine. Look, delete in your little trash can, delete. Go up here, and there's a duplicate page on every single template / file that you're creating on Canva. So you're going to be able to duplicate. Hit duplicate. Let's go ahead and go back to that first page. I like to do this just because computers are wild style sometimes, y'all. I lock my content. I lock it so that this page now, no matter what I do, uneditable until I unlock, right? So go ahead and lock your designs once you're done with making the edits that you're making, just to safeguard your work. Canva does automatically store everything and auto saves as you work. But again, it's not like a MacBook where you're going to auto save every 0.2 seconds. It's probably auto saving every 5 or 6 minutes. And if for some reason you crash in that time, that work is gone. So just lock it in. Now, we wanted a different colorway, right? Because let's imagine that our colors are, let's do VCC colors, Sandy, or Capital Region colors. So I wanted blue for this. I want to keep this, make it a dark blue. We'll talk about brand kit in a moment. And then let's say I wanted one more option that was like a bit more fun, right? We're going to duplicate again. And then you see, we're going to scroll up, lock your pages, y'all. Lock your pages. And then you can so quickly and easily head right into that left-hand corner. I'm going to do this one slower. You see it, select it, and it says background color. Boom, bam. There are a couple of ways you can do this. That first time I went in and I used my brand kit, which highly recommend. It makes the world easier for everyone, including you as small business owners who are doing the heavy lifting yourself. Or you can pick through your document colors and hit add new color, where it's going to give you the option, much like any other design service, where you can move your cursor around to find a colorway that suits you. You can enter a hex code. So 0000 is always black. You can enter a hex code. And then also, if you know the hex code and you're wanting to just not even go into here, you can do it right here. Let's shift back to blue, and then I will demonstrate that. I'll put in pound. Oh, it's not working. Okay, so we'll do purple. And purples will come up, shades of purple for you to select from. Before I quickly move on, are there any other questions about duplicating templates and changing colorways on templates? We're going to talk about elements within templates next.
I'm not seeing anything right now.
Great. I'm going to keep it moving. So now that we've got this, we've got our first option, we've got our option B. Let's say this is option C. I'm noticing that my colorways don't match, my font colors don't match, and my color is kind of is muddied. It's not very clear, and these tools that I see here as this logo, it's just not popping in the way I want it to, right? So I want to edit it all at once because I'm being lazy or working smart. So you select everything, select that top tagline, hit shift. As you're shifting, select the logo, select the font. You're going to be able to go in right here, text color, and edit your text color. I'm going to do this little blue, or yeah, warmish gray white. And then I guess for the image, it didn't want to do it alone, and that's okay. You'll click on the image to edit the color. Do that again, click. And then we're going to go right up to that top again, and you can hit color, and we can hit that same colorway or a different one, just whatever is making sense for your image. This is called an element and an image. So you can also go up here and edit the image itself. We're not going to play with these since this is really just a 101 level class, but you can, right? So there's color mix. I added some fun gradient to it. You can make it an Arctic colorway situation. And to undo, here we go. This is my second best friend up here. We're going undo, undo. Okay. And let's say I wanted to give it a little flip, that element right here. Once again, top, and then you have two options. There you go. And when it comes to our elements, y'all, here we go. I'm going to duplicate this. Just excuse me as I delete. If you go into that right-hand side again, hit elements, there's an entire library full of elements for both the paid and free accounts. You'll never run out of elements to use. I promise you that. And that's even before you even start creating your own elements if you want to get to that point. The one caveat I'd say is this crown right here differentiates what's a pro feature, pro element, and what is free. Now, while there are tons and tons and tons of free options, there is something to be said for the leveled up pro options, right? But then that's a pro option right there. We'll delete it. This is a pro option. But again, like there are plenty of options for things that are not pro required. It's just all about looking for that little crown right there. All right. So on top of being able to use elements within Canva that are pre-made template style, whether you're using the free or the Pro account, you can also upload things. So let's pop on over here to upload. As you can see, we upload a lot with our center. We have to put in charts and tables to help clients building business plans, justifications, etc. So I will enter. That's a picture of our lovely team. Let's pretend just for today that we are in fact the owners of Williams Automotive Center because our boss is Rodney Williams. He's right here. And let's say, okay, great, I have this image in here, but I don't love that it's just a square, right? I want to be able to put it in, I want it to be in a shape of some sort. You are going to head right on back over to elements in that left-hand corner or that panel. Then you're going to go, oh, let's back right back out of there. Scroll down a bit, and there's a whole section called frames. When you get, and I'm going to click it through, boop, you're going to get a ton of ways to drop in and display photos that are outside of their original shape, right? So let's say I wanted us to be in a squiggly situation. Now, my image is behind, so just quickly click, drag on top of the graphic itself, the frame, and you can adjust the side by pulling on the corners if you'd like. Okay. So is this gorgeous? Not my favorite, not the prettiest, but I think it demonstrates what elements and uploads can do for yourself. Now let's move on to the text options really quickly. And what I'll do again is duplicate a page, but I'm going to leave this guy blank. So now, as you can see, again, we've got the brand kit here. Ignore just for one moment. And you know that you need a graphic. This is a social media graphic, right? That stands out. But you're not sure what color, what fonts to use. And you don't necessarily have, it doesn't have to be with a brand guideline, or if you're just making something playful. Otherwise, I'd say stick to the fonts and your brand guidelines always. But the color combinations that are put together by Canva are all made. I'm trying to find a good one here. Here we go. Boom. All made by Foundry designers, so folks who create fonts and then pair them together, which is incredibly useful. So you know that the two fonts that you're using actually blend well together, and you don't have to be thinking about your serif and sans serif fonts. That meaning sans serif means, you know, you like those little feet that are on the edge of text sometimes. That's a serif. And if they don't have it, it's called a sans serif. And if they do, it's called a serif. And matching fonts is weirdly important. It's visually incredibly important. It's how we as humans kind of judge whether or not a business is trustworthy, if they look legitimate. And our subconscious really deep dives into that. So if you're not a whiz with fonts and a Foundry person, just use the presets until you really can have some one-on-one guidance to figure out what your brand's fonts are. And then you can create that brand kit, which essentially then does this right here, all of this pairing for you, but right at the top. Right.
Hey, a couple questions while you're there. One,
yes, can
you filter out the pro versus the free when you were looking at, you know, the various templates or elements to use? That's one question. And then, so is the brand kit for the pro only?
Yeah, brand kit is pro only, which is why I'm talking about it later, because not everyone will have a pro account, and that's okay. You know, if you can swing it, it's fantastic to have. If you can't, this tool is still absolutely fantastic to have, and I don't think it's a detriment. So when we're talking about templates, I've actually never searched in that way. So let me give it a try here.
And while you're looking, I wanted to share what Christopher Smith had shared, that he enjoys a channel on YouTube called Design the Canna. They usually have daily and weekly tips. So I wanted to share that one.
Oh, look at that. Okay. You know what? So they don't. If they would have, it would have been in this the filter category, right? But you actually can't. You can filter through a million different ways, y'all. Apparently not free and pro, which honestly would be a good piece of feedback for Canva. But it's not looking like it, but great question. And I had not thought about it until right then. So I learned something today too. Thank you for that. And other than the filtering question, Sandy, what was the other one? I got caught up answering that one.
I got to take myself off. And the brand kit is for pro only.
Oh yeah.
How much is the pro version?
Yeah, so the pro version, the last I checked, it was $119 a year. You can break it down into monthly payments, which I think is $12.99 a month. There's also a nonprofit pricing point, and I think this might be a lie, but I think there's a teacher's, like an educator's price point as well. I'm not familiar with what those are. I think the nonprofit price point is closer to in the 60s. But that could be incorrect. But yes, they do have different pricing models. And with the pro account, you can actually invite people to be on your Canva team. So if you have a team where collaboration is super necessary in conjunction with needing to track changes and who made them, then I definitely recommend it. But again, you guys, free is fine. It's great. You're not coming from somebody who uses this every day. You're not going to be limited at all in a free Canva account, unless you have a massive team, and then I would maybe consider it. But again, the pricing points are different and pretty affordable in comparison to who their direct competitor is, which is Photoshop, right? So we're talking thousands versus $119 a year. So okay, so that was it for the fonts. I'm going to move over and look. We're going to talk about the templates in the presentation category. So I'm going to head back to, this is the first tab. We're going to head to home, hit Canva at the top. And then we're going to hit presentation or hit templates on that left-hand side. Oh, you know what? Here, plans and pricing. Let me quickly just walk through that for you all. Might as well. For education and nonprofits. Okay, so Canva Pro is free for all registered nonprofits. So go get you an account if you can. And for educators, looks like it's free for educators as well. I don't know how flexible they are with the term educator. So I'd say that Sandy is an educator, and I'm not sure Sandy would get a free account, but she should. She should get everything in life for free. So let's head over to templates. Presentation templates are going to be a smidge different, but not too much different, okay? Oh, let me talking. Oh, here we go. No, I want to go business. Go hit business. And then under business, you've got 1 million different types of templates you can create. Documents, which we'll get to, presentation, and whiteboard, which we'll also get to. All of these, which we will not get to today because this is a 101 class. But pro tip, I use whiteboards to mind map just about everything, and I use it with clients constantly. So let's do presentations. There you go. And within this realm, there are so many different types of templates to choose from, right? Now, I have to say this as the assistant director of the SBDC. Sure, use a business plan template from a Canva or something like that if you would like, but please do not expect whoever you go to get to edit your business plan to love that, right? Depending on your industry and depending on what type of lender you're going to, a designed business plan template might do you more harm than good, right? If you're kicking off to something to the SBA, they don't want to see that. They really don't. They might maybe appreciate it, but largely they want things to be in the way that they do things, right? So free advice, be wary with the business plan templates and make sure that it works for you. So as we can see, we've got a ton of things going on here. You can do timeline video style presentations. We can, oops, and that just decided to open on its own, but that's a fantastic example.
Hey, Tachi, what platform do you recommend your clients for business plan? What templates?
Oh, just head to either if it's specifically an SBA loan that you're looking for, SBA has a template on their website, and if it ain't broke, so Otherwise, SCORE has a fantastic template. We have a fantastic template. VCC has a fantastic template. Yeah, I think that really when it comes down to it with business plans, if you can get through the essence of what a business model canvas kind of looks like, then you can fill in the rest of a business plan. And another pro tip, lenders don't want to look at plans that are really any more than about 16 pages is what I've been hearing for the past 4 years. So be concise with your words. All right, so let's just hit minimalist here. Or creative portfolio. Let's do that. It's going to show you exactly what the slides in the deck look like, right? So that they're not all the exact same. There's some variation, which is important for interest when you're presenting. We're going to customize this template. I can also save templates, y'all. If you are like, I like this one, I don't want to lose it, but it's not for the project I need right now. Save it. Put a little star on it. You can come back to it later. So we're going to customize. Boom, bam. Now, much like everything else here, it's the same way to edit, right? The only difference is we have elements here. Now, I want to talk to you about being able to edit these elements. Whew, my words today. Just like we did with that last logo. So let's say your, let's see here, business is all about a green smiley face. Well, guess what? I can green smiley face it, right? I don't think it's necessarily great as a green smiley, but that's what we can edit the template to what we need. And why is it not? Oh, here we go. So we hit, I'm happy with this, yada, 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 creative portfolio by Sandy in all caps. And then we're going to hit add page. This is the thing. Oh my goodness, it didn't work. Huh, okay, well, we are going to be able to problem solve here together.
Tachi, this is a new one that I've never tried before too. While you're looking there, if you upload a logo as an image to Canva, are you able to edit the colors of that logo? Can I basically, if I want to change the colors for the new knowledge logo, can I do it there, or is does the platform allow you to do that kind of detail?
So it depends. If we're uploading a logo, then no, right? Then the uploaded logo is what it is. You can erase the background of said logo, but you can't change the essence of the logo. Now, if you are creating your logo within Canva, so let's just do this, right? Let's say we're creating our logo and I want my logo to be, I'm a florist. I want a bouquet of flowers, of wild flowers. There are so many different things you can do, right? So we can hit photos, we can hit graphics. And again, you're not going to be able to edit things colorway wise on every single graphic or on a photo, but on elements you can. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right, well, presentations, I'm being thrown for it here. It's not having to do some, you should be able to, okay, I don't know what's going on with Canva today, but you should be able to add page under a templated presentation and get the options of where to go of those other colorways for that same template presentation. This could be that I need to re-up my pro account, and that could be what's going on. So now, when it comes to documents, that's essentially going to be the exact same thing. So this is itself a document. And what's exciting about this, let's actually just throw it in here, because this was a document template. Let me build with you guys, or no. You hit the plus sign for everything, right? And for documents themselves. Now you can, it's essentially, documents are meant to be a an interweaving of what would be like a Word with a PowerPoint. I think that's the most effective way to explain it. So you can create banners at the top. You can create, your classic bullet pointed list, and then you can also embed things. So say I wanted to embed an entire presentation into this document. What you're going to do is hit that plus sign. And Magic Write is AI. I love AI. So if you guys want to talk about that later, we can, or how to use it. The plus is just whatever you're entering. If you want to enter a heading, body, a table, pie chart, line chart. I'm talking about embedding an entire workshop, right? So let's say I wanted to embed this workshop. Presentation deck workshop, sure. Copy. I would go and paste the embedded link here. So just click, paste, boom, bam. Oh my Lord, you guys. Did y'all see that? It just disappeared on me. Okay. Boom. So you'd be able to embed right there, click out. And this is our Capital Region deck that we use for our templates, time and time again. All right, so any questions on templates? I know that between social media, presentation, and documents, it can get redundant. So, and I don't like to feel like I'm, saying the same things over and over. But essentially, with all of these templates, you are going to be able to edit each aspect to reflect the brand that you're working with by changing fonts, by adding elements, right? By uploading your own logos or your own images, or your own charts, and using charts, speaking of charts, right there. And that is the same for any sort of social media document that you're creating, a pitch deck that you're creating for presentations, or, say that your boss wants a Q4 report and they want it to look snazzy because they're going to present it to the board. I would use Canva Docs for that and use templates for that as well. So in the templates arena, do we have any questions? And we're going to fly through BrandKit and Whiteboard as well.
Can you please show the location on the plus sign again to add an embedded link?
Yep. So the plus right here, it says add magic. So embedding the link, I messed up. You're going to hit the link right here for one, or hit the plus sign, and you can search the magic too if you'd like. Roll down, embed. You can also do a timer, which is really lovely if you're using timers with like clients or presenting. You can enter a full design, checklist, bulleted list, et cetera. Emoji. That's new and that's silly.
Oh, and is there a place to add a QR code? I know that's a new feature.
That is a new feature, but it's a new feature for paid accounts. But there is. If you go over here on this left-hand side, QR code right here, going to select it. You enter the URL of the QR code that you want to. And then I just did our website, generate QR code. And as you hit generate, as you all saw, it is doing two things at once. It is uploading it onto the image, and then it's uploading it into my uploads. So now this QR code, if you all were to scan it, go ahead and test it. Go ahead and test. If you scan it, it should send you to the Capital Region website. Do I need to do that one more time at a bit slower pace, or are we good?
One of the questions is would the copy of your slides be sent? And yes, Tachi's going to send those to me, and I will send that out along with the link once I get it uploaded to YouTube so that you can have access to it.
Yes, so the slides, as you all see, since we learn together by doing. It's really going to be this, which I know is not very helpful, but I'm hoping that what will be helpful is rewatching the video in conjunction with the list of seeing exactly what we talked about. But if you all want, the Dazzle Eau de Parfum slide, very, very happy to send it to you, or a picture of my team. That's all good and well as well. So let's move on, and I super depend on anyone, including Sandy, to interrupt me should I need it. But let's move on to brand kit, right? I'm going to create an entirely new image from scratch to show you what the brand kit is actually worth doing. So let me just go to presentation, and this is going to create a blank presentation for me. Move this over here. Now I'm going to name this knowledge communication. And we've got a blank, completely blank presentation. I know that I'm going to need to build out a brand kit to finish this, right? I know what the color brandings are, yada, yada, yada. So I can do it one of two ways. Actually, let me back up. Instead of showing you how to use the brand kit, let me show you where it is first, so you all can figure it out. So you're going to go up, and you are going to go to, brand. Under tools on the left-hand side, again, this is a pro feature. So if you are not using a pro account, this is like one of the downsides, but it's not an end all, in my opinion. It's really not. So within your brand kit, as you can see, this is the Capital Region SBDC's brand kit. You can add your logos. I don't think there's a limit on how many you can add. At one point, because we had to account for all of the sponsorships that we had like 18 logos in here. It's really intense. Same with colors, right? These are our network colors, our statewide colors. You can add different colorways, which are separated if you see in these gray rectangles right here. I've named them network colors, so this is what the state office uses. And these are our capital region colors. So this is what I try to incorporate just for visual variation. And then I liked these blue tiles, these two blue colorways. So I saved them into our brand kit, since I found myself going back to those colors time and time again, right? And you can add color palettes on your own. Now, while we're in the brand kit and we're talking colors, brand colors, let's say you're like, I don't know, I haven't figured out my brand yet, or my brand elements, or my brand identity. I don't know. I just need to get colors down for a presentation. That's fine. We got it. Go to color palette, click plus, and you're going to be able to slide through in that same way we talked about, and look for colors that really work for you. If you're like, all I know is I want orange, but I don't know what kind of orange. Okay. Look, slide over to the oranges, right? The red and the yellow and in between, and click around until you find an orange, and it will show right here that suits you for your brand. Now, one thing to make note of, if you found a color through Canva in this like discovery that you love, and you're like, that's it, this is the color I've been looking for, make note of that color. And for this shade of orange is D47B1F with the pound sign in front of it. Say that again, with the pound sign in front of it. That's going to be how you tell a designer, should you bring one on? I like this color. I might not know anything else about my business, but I know that this color speaks to me. And they're going to be able to put that color in to their systems and look at what is compatible, what works, what doesn't, and really build out why, or build out the essence of your brand through that. So you better come to that graphic designer with that hex code, okay? Which is pound D47B1F on this instance. All right, let's add another color palette, another color. Say I want my vibes are very fall. This is the yellow I'm going to go with. Now, that hex code is F1E278, right? So you just continue in that way, and then you can name noon palette. And it's named and it's in there, and you'll see that my brand color number has shifted to 22. And you can add new and color ways by hitting add new up here. Okay, so let's say I wanted to add a 2 p.m. knowledge. I don't know. Add custom palette. You can also select preset palettes, y'all. This is where it's at. The preset palettes, wonderful. For discovery, especially, fantastic. But this is how you add a custom palette, which is how we got this. Okay, same sort of thing, you all, for text styles. You just go in and let's say we wanted to add new. Well, that's to upload a font. We're not doing that. But say I wanted to change it from Argent to something else, Mont, sure. Now, when I go to use that heading, anything I click that says heading on the design aspect of a presentation is going to be saved to Mont. And we're going to switch over to that presentation deck for me to show you the empty one where all of these stinking decks. Here we go. So now when I hit, I'm going to refresh this because we changed our fonts. This should be reflective of it. I'm going to go to the left-hand panel, hit text, add heading. That's going to automatically show up in the Mont font that I saved under the brand kit, right? Headings, Mont, color, font size 72, at a 72-point font. Same thing for a subheading and then a body text, right? You're going to be able, the only thing you should have to do is move it on the screen. That's it. And then adjust the size if you need to. Now, if you need to adjust the size outside of using the branding kit, few ways to do it. The most obvious and most comfortable for most folks is to just go up to the font icon and do what you do, because it's the same on every single application that uses type anyway. Or select the font, the body of text that you're wanting to adjust. Head to that button, that little white button, double click it and move it to reflect the size that you want. And notice that in the text box up top, in that where the font size is listed, that changes as you adjust. So you can keep an eye on it as you move it around. Okay. Now, with the brand colors, again, we've got all of our logos built in and all of our colors. Let's demonstrate how this works here. So brand kit, so every single time you hit on something that touches on the brand kit, it's going to be the first thing that pops up, right? So if I hit text, it knows that I have brand colors that I use for text. If I hit the background of this slide and then go up to the third-ish left part of the screen and hit background color, the first thing that's going to come up as options for me are the colors that I have in my brand kit. Now notice that newest one is down there already. And then, so this is what the state uses. This is what the center uses. These are ones that I just liked. And then this is what we created together, right? So we're going to be able to consistently get those quickly into any deck, any doc presentation that you're working on. And just like in the other templates, you can simply change colors in your font ways and on your elements and on the background. Any questions about brand kit before we really quickly move on to whiteboarding? And I really want to save a few minutes for questions at the end. Oh, I guess I should show you, let me back up. Let me show you how to put on a logo, right? All right, so let's say we need the Capital Region logo on here. I better, because the SBA will come get me if I don't. What you're gonna do is hit uploads. Or wait, no, usually it's under logos. That's strange. Okay, usually there is a button right here that instead of live, it gives me the logos. But essentially, y'all, it's gonna come out all the same way. This is the VCC logo. I'll select it. You should have a logo button on your side. I just don't want us to spend time troubleshooting since we're close to the end. VCC's logo right here. This is not an updated logo, but that's okay. Let's say that I really love this logo and I want it here, but you know what? The white in the background doesn't actually work with what I've got going on. And you have consent from the business logo you're using to remove the background. Huge and. You do not want to get in legal trouble over this. Let's say I wanted to remove the background because VCC gave me explicit permission to do so. Select it, double click. You're going to go up to Edit Image in that corner. You're going to hit Background Remover, BG Remover. It's going to do its little thing. There you go. It got rid of all of the negative space. Now, this is clearly not optimized for being this size, like the GIF itself, the PNG itself. So it's going to be a little pixelated. That's user error, not logo error. So, but that would be how you remove the background to any logo. You guys, that can also be used on images. Let's just go and I will show you again on this.
Hey, Tati, I don't want to miss this question, but Ernie wants to know, what would you list as the top 3 design tips for non-designers? Are there common design mistakes to avoid?
Yeah, there are a ton of mistakes to avoid. Okay, I would say learn basic design elements, meaning learn the difference between contrast, repetition, pattern, and how you can make them work in your favor. And then I would say less is always more when it comes to design. So make what you're making and then remove at least 1 to 2 elements every single time. And then specifically, and this is like my biggest corporate pet peeve, your slides don't need to have 8,000 words on them, right? Ideally in a presentation, you use the notes feature, which on Canva is going to be in the lower left-hand corner. Present your notes, boom, bam. I don't have any. But this is where you would put your notes, all in that corner. And then say you wanted to share and save. You can download with notes or without notes, flattened PDF and include the notes. And that's how you would save that. But yes, fewer words on corporate slide decks are needed because the way that you hold and grab user attention is to keep the things on the screen concise and short, and to be sure that your voice is doing the motivating and your voice is doing the teaching, not the flat words on a screen. So I hope that's helpful. But that, I would say, is one of the many designers I know, that's probably top 10 pet peeve, is don't let the decks talk for you. You talk and let the decks guide you. And then, of course, contrast. Be sure you know the difference between contrast and repetition. But yeah, but we don't have time today to get to whiteboards, and I'm so sorry about that, but whiteboards are my favorite collaborative tool. Please hit me with any questions that you may have. I'm going to stop sharing screen and make myself available to answer any Canva questions that you may have at all.
Well, first I wanted to point out, if someone didn't see in the chat, you can now, I have the free version of Canva, you can create a QR code, because I knew I'd done it just a couple of weeks ago. So that's something that they've opened up as well. And one of the questions was in the designing of it, I rely, when I have that brain fog, which happens a lot, is I use the templates that at least gives me an idea. This is the layout I want to use, and then I start customizing it just to my specific needs.
Yes. I also use Canva for inspiration and push people to use that too. Specifically, as you can search by industry, you saw that we were able to search automotive business idea. You can kind of see what's out there and see if anything is speaking to you, and use that as inspiration. I totally agree, Sandy. I feel like I do that 3 times a week. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a couple other questions that came through. I got to get my. Is there? When is the next webinar? We'll have to talk her into that. And is there another link to the whiteboards? That have you done a session before, Tachi, that you could send me the link, or
I have not, but I'm actually teaching another Canva workshop tomorrow through the SBDC, and I will drop that in the chat.
But a couple have asked, can you do a whiteboard class?
Oh, just an entire whiteboarding course?
That was the class. Was the question, Karen Hester? Can you do a whiteboard class for us? And I guess from that, we could also see what other specifics parts of Canva that you want. Is it that you're more interested in developing flyers? Or are you interested in developing, I've used it for video development too. That's something else. If let us know what your needs are, and we will try to help you.
Yeah, I think Sandy answered it best. Very happy to always come back, but because Canva is such an expansive tool, 101 really is just getting to know kind of the space of Canva itself. And much like Sandy, I use Canva for different things every day. It's the main thing that I use with clients when we're having a collaborative session. We whiteboard all the time. It's what I use to create decks. It's what we use to create and schedule social media. And all of those things have very specific and different modes of functioning, right? So happy to come back if you all have a bullet pointed list and you just want like an hour of Canva questions. Sandy knows I will do anything she asks me to do. So I'm happy to come back. And yeah.
We do have an opening on June the 21st in our schedule if you'd like to. Okay.
I'll see y'all June 21st.
You all heard it here first. We're breaking news. So we will try to get her back for more advanced Canva. Well, Tachi, thank you so much for sharing your time and expertise. I know from experience, this is not just sit down and start. You've got a plan. So we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to do that. It's obvious anytime that we're looking for items from people that they want more training on, it's always something to do with marketing, because that's what we all, for any kind of business, organization, nonprofit, if you don't have a pipeline of people coming, that will not work. So we do have, I want to share that next week our session is on challenges in the labor force. That'll be on March the 1st. And Rex Carter with Universal Fibers in Bristol will be leading that session. So I hope you can join us. And again, just to remind everybody, today's session is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel, New Knowledge, and also on the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubators Facebook page. And we can also have that available on Virginia Community Capital's Facebook page as well. Just to let you know, on the YouTube, there's over 200 workshops that we've done since 2015 when we first started videoing those. So there's a great resources there just at your fingertips. So thanks again for joining us. And Tachi, I couldn't do it without you. So I really appreciate you supporting this program today.
Yeah, absolutely. I dropped my email in the chat. I'm very happy to answer 1 or 2 questions per attendee as time allows. And I hope to see you all soon, or I will see you all soon, June 21st. I'll be back.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, and have a blessed day. Thanks. Bye-bye.